Okay, and I think that should be just about good for us to go live. It is a interesting intro music to come on. So, yeah, I think we're just about ready here. I'm going to get interrupted in a few minutes. Supposedly, I have people showing up to do some work in the house, but we should be able to stream just fine with them here. I'm just going to have a notification in a minute that I'm going to have to take a quick break for. So, before we get started too much, let's go back over where we were before. That's not what I want. My notes get to. Whoa. I had notes, right? No. Oh, duh. I put them in here. Okay. So, what we're doing this week is we're taking the stuff we worked on last week. We started off by taking a look at the LiftMaster 8355W, the Wi-Fi version of a garage door opener that just so happens to be in my house. It's probably about 10 feet behind me right now is the garage where it's at. So, what are we doing here? Last week, we took a look at this. Here's my rough notes from it. We went through a whole bunch of documentation, tried to figure out, okay, what does this thing do? It's a complicated device. It's got a ton of features. What all kind of features are there? Oh, great. I guess they're here now. Okay, I will be back in about 15 minutes then. I'll see you guys in a bit, and you'll get some music to listen to.
Citizens of a future redefined. No regrets tied to the things we leave behind. Brand new possibilities, technology, and currencies. A new sun will rise, the shadows quickly fade. Dawn of a new age. future redefined. No regrets tied to the things we leave behind. Brand new possibilities, technologies, and currencies. A new sun will rise and shadows quickly fade. Dawn of a new age.
Okay, let's give this one more try here. Okay, let's try this again. We just had the cleaners show up, and perfect timing for that, just as I tried to get started. Anyway, so where were we? Last week we went through the garage door opener, this LiftMaster 8355. It's a Wi-Fi connected garage door opener that's sitting about 10 to 15 feet behind my back right now, through a couple of walls between here and there, but it's back there. So last week what we did was we went through and we read through the manuals, we dug through them, we looked at a whole bunch of reviews for it, we took a look at things like that. In fact, if you didn't get to watch the stream last week, I was actually able to put together a summary video, a recap video. That's the term I used, a recap video about it. And I will link that in the chat here, because that's probably the easiest way if you haven't seen what we've done so far. That recap video, we go through it all in pretty reasonable detail, like what exactly it is we did last week. But it mostly comes down to, we read some manuals, we found out what the crap this thing is supposed to do. What protocols does it talk, how does it connect, how do you set it up, things like that. And that way we know what we're looking at, because until we've done that, until we get all this detail about, the features it has, that it connects to Wi-Fi, that it's going to use a smartphone app, we don't really know what to look at. I can turn it on, but we can't actually do much if it's just sitting there. And a good example of that is before the stream here, I turned it on and it does nothing. You actually have to press several buttons and it pops up this Wi-Fi name. Unfortunately, I can't show that because due to how I do the streaming, I can't actually show while disconnected. Like, I can't stream and be disconnected from the internet and be able to have that connected. So in any case, the way that it works is I press a button, I hold it down for a minute or 30 seconds, something like that. I let go, it beeps, and it pops up a nice little SSID. There's a Wi-Fi network I can connect to. I connect to that, and then I go to the setup page on there, and it has me tell it how to connect to my home Wi-Fi, which is what we got right here. Part of the installation manual told us how to do it. But then, that's it. It disappears. It's connected and it's fine. Everything after that appears to talk to their servers on the back end. I'm trying to think if there's anything else important we covered there. The other thing we looked at, other than just going through the manuals, was looking at, okay, we have all of this. There's also this Android app. What does that thing do? What is that doing? And looking at it, it didn't look like it directly connected to it, except in the case where it was connecting to the setup. And that's about all that we got done last week. So this week, well, what's going on this week? This week we have a similar situation where we have it turned on now, so we're able to talk to it. Well, kind of. Like I mentioned, we got it set up, and it's on my network, but it doesn't respond to anything. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to actually take a look at it. Like, between last stream and this stream, I said I was going to capture the config, but it didn't really do much other than call out. So there's nothing really to look at there. I took a look at the app. There wasn't really anything other than what we saw last time. And it's set up now, and I can connect to it, but I can't do much else. So the first thing we need to do is let's see what else this thing is doing. We have an IP address, we can talk to it. In fact, if we come over here, we can actually see, come on, I want to go here. We can actually see what it's doing. Interesting. No, this is not what we wanted at all. I want to preserve log. So we call this, and it gives us, what does it give us? Wait, what are you doing? Stop this. Give me the full thing. I want this. So we connected to it, and it gives us back a, Why did we redirect then? That's odd. So we connected here, and we somehow redirected to this page, but I'm not sure why. Oh, what is this? What are you doing? Like, this is just spitting back random crap. And this page we know fails. We go here, and it's actually going to respond that it did stuff. Like, what happens if I do that? U404 on me. What are you returning? I am so confused. Like, are you basically just spitting back some number of bytes of uninitialized memory or something like that? Oh, that's so weird. Anyway, so normally, like when I go back, I press the button. What it's actually going to do is this is the same interface that I would talk to, at least as far as I know, it's the same interface that I would talk to actually configure it. It would pops up a little menu there and says type in your stopper, and we'll be able to do things with it. But let's connect here. 67121. So this is a actual Ubuntu VM. The reason that's important is because we're going to actually scan this thing. So for people who haven't been watching the streams for a while, I usually use WSL for most of the stuff I do. I use a Windows machine, and then I use WSL, the Windows subsystem for Linux, to do most of my Linuxy stuff, because that's the environment I'm most comfortable with. Like, I prefer Windows for a lot of stuff, but when it comes to programming, I want to do that all in Linux. So I use WSL. However, there's a lot of things WSL doesn't do well, and one of those is it cannot do scanning. Because it doesn't have access to a lot of the low-level socket stuff, it straight up can't run Nmap at all. It just fails completely. If you want to do Nmap, we need VM. Crap. Well, this is not at all what I was hoping for. So all we have off of this thing then is we have a web server. Well, let's do the full scan. How do I do that again? Nmap scan all ports with banner. That's what I really want here. Scan them all and go ahead, Nmap-A. So the -P is going to do range of port, or yeah, that would do all the ports. But I also want the banner grabbing. I think that's what I want. Oh, it would help if I got the right IP address. Diddle-doo, diddle-doo-doo, diddle-doo, diddle-doo-doo. And now we wait. So what else do we have here as information? We do know that it is running, like it tells us that it's doing a Marvell WM. What the crap is that? No. This is actually like the Wi-Fi chip that's running the web server? Is that what that's telling me? Interesting. Oh, here we go. Here's somebody else looking at something similar. Tell me more, tell me more. But the things are there. The words were there. Ha. Oh, I thought for a second that said base 64 encryption as I was scrolling past, and I was going to get a good laugh out of that. Ah, yes, that well-known base 64 encryption. Well, this does tell us that it's apparently using the same stuff that a Roomba does, which I guess has its upsides and downsides, but the fact that we can't do anything with it right now is a little concerning. Where'd you get to? You're still scanning. Okay. Well then. Come on, Nmap. Okay. We have port 80 tells us that when it 404s so socket 7, we're currently looking at my garage door opener. We have it up and running, connected to the network. However, it's not responding at all. The only thing we get when we connect to it is we get a page, and then it redirects us somehow to another page that I'm not clear on exactly how that works yet. And that's it. It doesn't respond to anything. It's only running on port 80 as far as I can tell. And that's it. Nothing responds. I don't know what a SIP options means. Well, let's try this, see if that gets us anything. Because if we're basically just poking at this thing blind, that's not going to get us anywhere quick at all. Like we need something to work from. And if our something is just, oh look, it does a thing. This is the downside of doing this live. Is that it doesn't work. Like if this doesn't do anything, then there's not much we can do with it. We've got that. We tried the wget 69133. Get a 300. Wget gives us this random crap. What's curl do? Why? I am so incredibly confused about what is happening. This is clearly not working as intended. Well, maybe it's intended for them, but like this does not fit with how I understand computers to work. Because if I go to here, how do I get here? It has redirected me, but I don't know how. Like somehow okay. When I wget this, I get crap back. Just like random crap back. It's 214 bytes of random crap. That on its own doesn't even make sense. Oh, it's a gzipped. Sorry. You know what? I'm gonna turn that off so that it stops beeping at you guys. Remind me that if I turn music back on, that we need to turn it back on. But for now, sound is off. There we go. That is a thing. Okay. This finally works in a way that computers make sense to me. I'm actually going to be back in just a minute. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So we're definitely doing things that are now back in the realm of, how I understand HTTP to work. Although I didn't realize that it could just force return gzip data, and that, so Chrome is just fine with that, apparently. It returns gzip data, it ungzips, and it just goes on its way. I don't think I've ever seen a website do that. But I guess if we're just using some sketchy, Wi-Fi sock, then maybe they wrote this themselves, and maybe it just does stuff. So that's that. Do we have... Our Nmapping is still going. It's not actually got any results yet. Oop, nope. That's not what I wanted at all. That's the Nmap. It's still going. We're at once another 5 minutes. Jeez. So this is the web interface. Well, it's the web interface after we've connected to the network. I didn't get screenshots or a video of it. But when I connected to it and I set it up on my phone. And basically what happens is we get this, well, I can show you this part of it. Setup.myqdevice.com. It looks a little bit like this, except this is their actual server. And I think it's a slightly different color scheme too. Color scheme. This bar is red from what I remember. And it just says, click here to set up Wi-Fi. And I click here and it says, okay, here are the SSIDs I see. And here is the, I select my SSID and then it says, okay, what's my password? And I give them the password and it goes, okay, rebooting. And it reboots. And once it reboots, this is the device. I will say I know that this is a device, not only because if I go into my router's config and check on it, it is putting out actually I think I can myq.lan, or is it myq.lan actually? No, what's this? Oh, actually it told me with the Nmap, didn't it? myq 9db. Yes, go to it. Yeah, we see the exact same thing. It's actually registered that as its local domain name. Is this myqdb9.lan. And it's forwarding me to start.html because reasons. That would be where the Wi-Fi config would be if I had pressed the button on the thing. But it's not there right now because it's already connected. Come on. Well, this is super frustrating. I was really hoping that this config page would do something. The fact that all so actually let's think about this for a second. How did they set it up? So when I connect to it normally, and by normally I mean I press the button, I do the things, I connect to it. If I go to the main page, it will redirect me to start.html and it will let me do stuff on it. Right now, however, it's actually 404ing. And if it's 404ing, they've either written some... It's not just some light HTTPD or something like that, where they're hosting this start.html there. Or if it is, they've actually swapped out the file system or something. Because it shouldn't be 404ing, even if there's some something in the way, there's some rendering or whatever. It should be telling me that, like, I'd be getting an error, not a 404. A 404 tells me that they're doing something really weird. Okay. Come on. I just want you to be done. This port scanning is, unfortunately, quite slow. Because port scanning over Wi-Fi. And I assume it's like round tripping and verifying that they're there. What else can I do while we're waiting on this? So we already know that at the base ports, nothing's happening. What I'm hoping for here is that there's something going on, like it's listing on port 4444 or something with some weird custom interface, or it's got SSH on 2222 or something like that. That's my hope here, is that it's going to be something dumb like that. Or maybe it's got another web interface on 8080. I don't know. But I don't know. Come on, finish up. It's 3 more minutes. What else can we look at here? So we know that there's a web interface, but we don't know how to do anything with it. And right now, it's claiming everything 404s. Well, actually, let me check this real quick. So they config.html. Oh, hey, look at that. So config.html was one of the other pages that it had. And you know what? This was, I was mentioning it before. This is what it looks like. It looks very similar to that other page, but it's, you know, actually doing a thing. Did they just remove the start.html when it's not in config mode? Well, it can't just be that, because when I did it normally, this actually would also have a list of available networks. Okay, well, let's... Okay, so there's a JScan results here, which I assume is failing? Please stop. Please stop. Yeah, Dirtbuster might be a good idea, just to see what else is on here. I wonder. No, no routes to TC. If it scans Wi-Fi, it disconnects from the actual one, so how are you sure that it'll connect back? That's not necessarily true. It's possible they have like 2 Wi-Fi cards in there, but yes, that is what I would expect to see happen. My guess here is that this page just actually still works, and it's just the back end isn't doing anything. What are you doing? It's 404ing when it tries to get its results. What else is on here? So we've got myq.js, which is still here. Set all brand text. That's interesting, but okay. Build a table. JLang. Okay. So apparently I can set a language. But where does it actually do anything? Does this not do anything? Okay. So we have that. We have brand. We have language. None of those things I care about. Page log. It'll save credentials. That's interesting. So there's jconfig save. What's going to happen if I try doing that? Cannot be reached. Invalid response? That's interesting. So we had that. We looked at that already. Oh, it's an Ajax. Okay, but I should still have to render it like that. Oh, you don't have a 1080p option? That should not be the case at all. Let me see here. Why is this still... Sorry, I'm fixing things while I'm at it. Events. This is the one that's currently going. This I want to get rid of. Yes. The future event I want to go away. The current event that is currently ongoing. Hello, me. I also do not have a 1080p option. I don't have a good answer for that. Interesting. So apparently OBS has decided that the output should be 720p and not 1080p. That I will have to fix. Unfortunately, I cannot fix it while we're streaming. So yeah, so apparently I switched to Streamlabs OBS as opposed to regular OBS because for one, it's got a few more options. Like these things, ooh, fancy, are all from the Streamlabs OBS as opposed to the regular OBS. Same with a nice little chat window here. But it appears that it's defaulting set to 720p. I will have to remember to fix that. Okay. Well, our Nmap finished, and it only is listing on port 80. So let's take, who was it? Socket7's advice. So I want to get me some Durbuster. How do I get me some Durbuster? I don't want to have to run Kali to do this. I just want something simple. It's a hurl. Nope, that's not what I want at all. multi-threaded Java application designed to brute force directories and file names on web application servers. Often is the case now of what looks like a web server in a state of default installation is actually not and has pages and applications hidden within. Well, that's what I want, but I also don't want something that's 5 years old. What's this thing? Simple command line tool designed to brute force directories and files and websites. Well, this looks relatively new, and it looks like it is at least somewhat maintained. Let's give this thing a try. Git clone that thing. Uh, 192, 168, 169, 133. Okay. How do I use this thing? Oh, come on. Does ports can include UDP as a default? I don't know. I don't think it does. That's a good point. Let's give that a try real quick. So we want to nmap-su-p-192.168.169.133. Sudo bang bang. Okay, let's let that go. That's not the right IP address. That is not the right IP address at all. 172.17.167.121. Actually, while we're at it, SSH config host. So I always have to look this up. I want to just do this. Okay, 172.17167.121. This is my crappy. Is it 600? So I set up an SSH config, which is telling it to do things. Are we back? Hopefully we're back. It says it's back. It's possible. Great. Okay, sorry about that. It's actually my network connection. Yeah, we dropped some frames. It should be back now. The issue is that our So I'm actually streaming over Wi-Fi. I've got my desktop down here in the office, and we've got a wireless router not too far away that I get a pretty good signal from most of the time. It's also not too far away from the microwave, and actually if you run the microwave, which it sounds like I just heard the beeping of it ending, it can actually just tank the signal. So stream goes bye-bye. Anyway, we have that. We're scanning there. I wanted to figure out how to use this dir buster thing. All right, before I get too far, what I just did when we were losing connectivity there, I set up a SSH config. It's super simple, telling it that I want a host called Ubuntu, and the host name it should actually connect to is that IP address. And that's to make it a little bit easier. And then I also did a SSH copy ID, which sets up all of the SSH keys properly, so I don't need a password anymore. I just do SSH Ubuntu, and it connects me. It's so fancy. So I want to do a Python 3 dir search -h. What do we have? So we have a URL, URL list. So I don't want to have to tell it a... Maybe this isn't exactly what I want. Looks close, but... Well, let's try this. -u 192.168.169.133, and I need a -e HTML. So I have no idea what this tool is. This is something random that I grabbed off the internet for anybody watching. Ooh. GoBuster? I will definitely take a look at that. Interesting. Okay. So this is telling me some config stuff. GoBuster. Let's find this. You know, I was just talking about... so for anybody who is unaware, OJ, apparently the author of GoBuster, also streams, although he streams at radically different times because he's Australian. Hello? Oh. He's Australian, so he's actually going to be streaming about 12 hours from now, I think. I don't know what he's going to be working on. I think he said he was going to be working on some just random CTF stuff. But yeah, he should be, he'll be streaming soon. Soon being, again, about 12 hours. So what is this and how do I get it? I assume I can clone it. It's written in Go? Okay. I guess let's get to making this. So it found a config, an index, and that about page. Okay. But yeah, he's coming back in 12 hours. Will be the first round of streaming, which should be exciting. You know, for people who care. Git clone this thing. README. The README says we want to do a go get and go build. So I need to get go. Sudo apt-get install golang-go. My password. And now we wait. Yeah, it's actually really exciting. There's a ton of people streaming today for whatever reason. A few minutes ago, well, all day long, my time, Live Overflow has been streaming. He was doing some video editing all day, trying to make a video for a CTF challenge from 35C3, I think. And then I'm streaming right now, and about the same time I'm going to finish, a little over an hour from now, Josh Watson is going to be streaming some Bionic Ninja stuff. And then about 12 hours from now, OJ is going to be streaming whatever it is he's going to be doing. Lots of people streaming today is what I'm trying to say. So go get. I don't know what this is doing. There's a decent chance this is breaking my computer. No install location for directory. Go help go path. Go path is used to resolve import statements. Go end go path. Okay, you know what? We're just copy and pasting this. No install location. Okay, we're just copy and pasting this. Oh, here we go. Look at that. I will try the thing that you said in just a second. Ah, look at this. It's a thing. Okay. So we have that. I want. Okay. This over here. So I want to do GoBuster -U 192.168.169.133. I need a word list. How do I get a good word list? Where do I get word lists? Sec lists? Okay. Sec lists. Ooh. Okay. Fancy. Yeah, apparently that's a Kali only thing. So what do we have on here? Well, I don't want that. I want like There we go. It's a good way to get all of this. Yeah, this looks like what I want. Okay. GoBuster-U 168.169.133-W big.txt. Okay. That's interesting that it looks like we did in fact manage to crash it at least once, but it's back. It looks like requesting .htaccess apparently crashed it. Awesome. So we have the about page, which is the same about page. Which I don't think had any crazy information on it. So use source. Game.html. Thank you. We're going to go look at that. Well, that's really weird. So if Easter count is greater than 7, okay. Maybe this is a, we need to wait for this scanner to finish before we do too much. Dogs for sale. Thanks. That is definitely what I want to see. Am I making this thing very, very sad, is what it looks like. Oh, have I just completely crashed this thing now? No, it's still responding. So the model of this is it's a LiftMaster 8355. That's interesting. Where were we? So this is the thingamaboober. How does it work? So this populated it with a whole bunch of stuff. So it has the start page. YQ about. Where does it get populated? Oh, is it Jabout? It is Jabout. Okay. This just returns some stuff. Well, this is entirely unhelpful. All this has told us is that we're apparently on firmware 1.2. Okay. We are scanning here. We are not finding anything. How are you doing over here? Wow, UDP scanning takes forever. I guess I should have expected that, shouldn't I? Because you can't just rely on the connection dropping. You have to actually do something with it. What else is here? What is common? So none of these have a extension, which I'm not sure how much I care about, but it's worth noting that. Let's give this a try. This should be a little bit quicker and hopefully get to the point where we get some responses out of it. Come on, give me something useful. I'm really hoping we get something. This is definitely much faster, which is good. So we have the index, which we already knew about. It's really a little bit concerning just how flaky this thing is. Like, the fact that we're just like dropping packets like crazy is what it looks like. What other options do we have here? So we have that dir mode only. What is dir mode? It found sys. Ooh. That doesn't look useful at all. It's interesting. But it's not useful. There's no, like, it's just information about it. Ooh, maybe I want that. Let's do -T5. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Let's give it something useful. What's weird is that it's like it's not even the same pages that are dying on me. It's not like it's getting certain things and dying. This is definitely erroring a lot less. So I set it to only 5 threads as opposed to 10, and it looks like it just chokes with high throughput. So that's good. So one of the things that is a little bit concerning and that I don't have a good answer for is that none of the things we've looked at so far accept arguments at all. It's just presenting information. The start page, if we could ever get back to it, had some way to like specify stuff, but nothing else. Come on, you're almost finished. There's sys, which we just looked at, which didn't have anything particularly useful in it. That's it. We have 3 pages. Well, that's not helpful. So let's switch back to big. And what was the... I want to dash... X. So switch from common to big, dash X. Okay. So hopefully this is doing what I think it's doing. It's going to append .html to all of these pages, which means we should see, hopefully, about.html pop up soon. At least that's the theory. So, hello, what? So unfortunately, this is about the point that I was hoping we wouldn't run into, where we looked at the Android app a little bit, we didn't find much. We're looking at the device now, and we also aren't finding much, which means our only option might involve having to take the thing down and rip the firmware off. Although the fact that it gave me a firmware version number leads me to at least hope that there's some update mechanism so we can get the updates. Okay. Well, we have this. It has, in fact, gotten our about and about.html, so it's doing that properly, at least. So I guess we just need to let this thing wait, and hopefully it will spit out a couple new pages. I mean, I don't know if we will or not, but hopefully it will. So what? Yes, last week on stream, we took a look at an Android app that goes with the garage door opener. We didn't find much with it. It just was there, but we did look at it. We unpacked it. We dug through it a little bit. We just didn't find much else in it other than what we had already found in the documentation earlier, which kind of verified the assumption that the device actually seems really simple. Like, it seems like it might actually be too simple for us to do anything with. Because at this point, you can't have bugs if you don't have functionality. So what we're doing is we're looking at this garage door opener. We started last week by going through all the documentation for it, building some notes from it, and then also opening up the Android app and poking at that and seeing what we could find there. Why am I not in Linux? mostly because Linux has pretty poor support for a lot of device drivers. Trying to stream from Linux has been a massive headache every time I've tried it. Windows just supports it perfectly fine. So running Windows as my host system and then using WSL for my Linux installation for most stuff, and a Hyper-V Linux VM has actually been the best performance and most usability I've gotten out of any Linux system probably ever. Client timeout exceeded while awaiting headers. This web server is so flaky. But I guess we're getting progress here, so I can't complain too much. Just gotta sit here and twiddle my thumbs and wait. It's amusing that it crashed on chaos. We also know about a few other pages, right? So this talks to Jay about what did config talk to? So config talked to some J server, didn't it? Jconfig save. JScan results was the other thing, which JScan results, which is invalid response. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. So I'd assume that a JScan, like, I'm guessing that there's a bunch of functionality that only works when it's in pairing mode, and that somehow they've just turned that off when it's not in pairing mode. Anything else in this JavaScript that matters? Hello, Dark Sentinel. It's interesting that the way that they implement their languages is by like JavaScript case statements. Join other network. We have the config.html that we already knew about. Well, that doesn't actually do anything because the backend for it doesn't work. None of this looks like it's doing much either. What's this do? Ah, yes, so this is the last page that we get, the configure, I guess, connectgdo.html. So we had config, which gave us a list of all the Wi-Fi networks. We selected which one we wanted, and type in the Wi-Fi password, and we hit connect. And what it does is it pops up this thing. Supposedly it will beep as it's connecting. What is this doing? So We have numbers of beeps. We have a Ajax response. This. No, Nmap did not find anything. Nmap has only found the what's it called? Port 80. We're currently running on UDP, but UDP, because we can't use timeouts, is just sitting there forever. It's subdomain. Yeah, I guess it could have like some sort of a subdomain, but I don't know what that would do. Ooh. JConnect serial. What does that do? Oh yeah, we can definitely zoom in. Especially since you guys are all stuck on 720p. What does this do? And it's down. Okay. Nothing, 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 nothing. Blah, 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 blah. Wait, what? So if it's in English, it'll say, what is the status of the adjustment button? And if it's NL, which Dutch, I would assume? Maybe? It's just going to say, I hope this is like one of the developer's passwords. Military-boots.html is apparently a popular enough page to get into this list. Okay. We have the different lights. So if it fails to connect, it'll apparently light up one of the switches certain colors. So in English, it is solid blue, and if it is in Dutch, it is constant blauw. And blinking blue, we have nippert blauw. I assume I'm butchering that. Serial number, blah, 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 blah. Write down the serial number. You will need it in the app. I know I will need it in the app, but I can't do anything yet. So this is their page. So we go here, and like this is on the API server, where it would actually like do stuff. Like I need to set up an account and do all that, but that doesn't help us, given that, you know, it doesn't actually do anything. Connect mobile device, I don't care. Force up and help. Do that, I don't need that. No, none of this is useful. So this, for people who didn't catch this, this was one of the pages. We're just going through its source to see if there's anything here. But none of this appears to actually be doing anything. There's no new pages to find here. No, I am definitely not streaming for 12 hours. I'll probably do about another half hour, 45 minutes, and then have to call it an evening. It's not quite as long as I'd like to go, but like at this point, that's about all that I'm going to be able to manage for now. However, in about the same time I'm wrapping up, Josh Watson should be starting, so I'll be able to take a look at that. It'll be great. How can you check if it's using its subdomain? I don't actually know how it would use a subdomain. I guess it could be making decisions based off of what the domain we're requesting it as is, but I don't. Nothing we've seen shows that it's doing that, because we can connect it by IP address. I can go here and go to config.html, and it gives me the exact same thing that it does if I go to its domain name. So I think it's probably just hosting everything the same way. I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I assume so. Relaunch browser and enter that. Nothing useful, thanks. That's just blocks of text that I don't think I care about. Nothing here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do next. Like, short of this turning up any more pages, we have sys, which you've already seen. I want something new. Give me something new. Because none of this actually does anything. It looks like all of the dynamic elements are turned off. The HTML stuff is still here, but we don't know what their web server does. Okay, let's check out the one other thing, which might be completely just dumb. Come on. I don't want to eject it. I want... How did that work? So... Well, we're almost done with this. Let's just finish real quick before I do anything else dumb. Come on. We're so close. Finished. Finished. We have nothing new. These are the exact same pages we had before. And... ugh. None of these do anything. So save credentials will have a, we'll call jconfig save, and like we can verify that this doesn't do anything, right? Like this doesn't respond to me. Yes, it fails. It returns 0 bytes and it returns immediately. So they're actually like doing something when we try and connect to these fake pages. Well, not fake pages, the dynamic pieces of it. Like it's actually failing out somehow. What else could we do here? So we've turned up new pages, but nothing interesting. We don't have a firmware for it yet. Well, let's do one last thing that might turn something up. Let's do this. Great. So my hope here was that I could search for that like some sort of text off of this, and that it might turn up a firmware image or something. So we have all this, we have a serial number. None of this is what I need. So it's actually crashing the entire device every time it does that, is what it's telling me. So we don't have a firmware, we don't have anything really. None of the dynamic pages are responding at all. We can see the static HTML, but we can't see any of the dynamic stuff. The app didn't have anything going on with it really either. Like it never directly connected. I just don't think it did. Well, okay. We can at least look at that. So this is the Android app for the device. Got all this stuff. Unfortunately, a lot of it is at least somewhat obfuscated, which is why we didn't get very far with it. Ooh. Well, this is way more stuff than I was hoping for. Oh wow, that is quite some noise. None of that does what I want. Endpoints are interesting, but they don't actually do anything. Again, these don't help me at all. These are just going to give me, like, if I could do something with it, I could use the endpoint and do something with it. But none of this tells me anything useful. Is there any more things I can just find on the internet here? MyQ firmware version. Ah. One of my Wi-Fi controllers is 2.1.3, and I just bought a second one, and it's version 1.3. Not looking for information on upcoming updates, just wondering how to get the firmware updated to match the newer one. Okay, so apparently I'm a version behind at least. Are the current firmware versions for the particular chipsets? Okay. Well, I don't need to, I don't know if we need to connect to a specific Wi-Fi. I don't think so, because now it's now the garage door opener is on my Wi-Fi network. It's not on, like, it's no longer hosting its own SSID. So I think from my phone, I call out to their server, and the garage door opener is polling that continuously, so that whenever I tell it open, I'll tell their API server, and then the garage door opener will either pull or get a push notification somehow to then open up. That I won't actually directly connect to it. At least that's the way everything looks. We responded to your earlier post instructions on how to get escalated. Fix the issue with my hub. No, these are the worst. Yes, my problem is solved. Brrr. Mike, do you have LEDs? What the shit is that? Do you have LED lights near the hub? That can cause malfunctions if you have LEDs nearby? What? Oh my god, why would it do that? How do I check the firmware version? I give the command to operate. I can see it flashing, then nothing happens. They don't get a response. Well, those are interesting, but they don't help. What I want is I want a firmware blob, and I don't want to have to try and rip it off myself because I do not like doing that. Like it's actually really, it's not, I mean, assuming it has like a JTAG connector or something, it's not the worst thing in the world, but them giving me a firmware blob would be so much more convenient. I don't feel like I'm asking too much for them to actually have the firmwares listed. What's this? To connect your garage door to the internet and connect from anywhere using your smartphone. Oh, so OpenHab. That's like a connection thing, isn't it? Yes. Yes, indeed. So yeah, they're doing the same thing. Like somebody who has at least reversed part of it has determined that you just talk to their API to control things. It's the easiest way to do it. It's at least one of the ways to do it. None of this does what I want it to do. Awesome. It may just be that this device is too, like, yes, it's a smart device, but that short of having physical access to press the button and turn it into config mode, it might not do enough for us to actually attack it at all. If that's the case, that kind of sucks. Well, it's good for me because I don't have to be concerned about it, but I'm surprised. Like I would have expected it to be, you know, a piece of crap. So where do we go from here? We can keep going through that Android app, which I don't know how much that's going to turn up. Because it looked like that was mostly just talking to their servers. And if we're just talking to their servers, we can't really do much with that. Like we're not, they might be dumb and have a auth bypass or something, but I don't really want to poke at vendor servers. Like, it's one thing to poke at a piece of hardware that I control. Like, I own this hardware, it's in my house, and trying to like attack that is one thing. I don't really want to attack their API servers on stream. That seems like a bad idea. Especially without any sort of authorization or any like open bug bounty program or anything. I don't want to do that. I think the next thing to do is exactly what Yoshi was saying. We're going to have to watch what this does over time. Basically set up, so it's currently connected to my network. I probably just need to turn on some packet captures and watch to see what it's requesting. Maybe what we can do is from the network, like, depending on what it's doing, maybe spoof some request it's making. Like, if it's requesting a certain, like it's requesting out to the endpoint, just return, yes, open the door. Maybe that's going to work. But that's not, I was really hopeful we'd find like, it's running a full web server all the time, and we're going to find like actual code execution in this thing and connect to it and everything. But right now, that doesn't seem particularly likely, given that everything looks like it's off. But unfortunately, that all is stuff that's going to have to wait until next stream. And unfortunately, the next stream is going to be at least another week away. Next Tuesday, the 22nd? Is that the way calendars work? The 22nd, I'll actually be traveling for work and will not be able to stream. I've tried streaming from a hotel room once. It did not go over well. So I think we're just going to have to skip the next stream and hope for the best for the 29th for the next stream. With that, it's been good having everybody here. I will say Twitch Sir Alien. I believe this is the right person. Is this the right person? It is the right person. So I will post this in chat real quick. If you're looking for more security-related stuff to watch, Josh Watson is about to start streaming on his Twitch channel here. If you want to check that out, it should be starting in about 15 minutes. He should be kicking things off. Other than that, I hope people have enjoyed this. It unfortunately did not go anywhere near the way I was hoping for. Like, for being a smart device, I'm used to most smart devices having, you know, Telnet turned on, and you're going to just connect to it, and it gives you a shell on the device. But this is not terrible. They've apparently turned almost everything off, which is what I wanted to do. I wanted to open and close my garage, and that's it. And surprisingly, that's what it looks like they did. In any case, thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully it was at least a little bit of an enjoyable stream. I'm going to get that packet capture over the next couple weeks between now and the next time I'm able to stream. And hopefully that turns up something that we're able to look at. Other than that, if any of you are going to be at ShmooCon this weekend, I will be there. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing yet. I don't have like a list of talks that I'm interested in, but I'll definitely be around the conference most of the weekend. So if you're there, feel free to let me know and at least say hi. And other than that, I will see people in a couple of weeks when I get back to streaming. So thanks everybody, and I will see everybody soon.